Hello, everybody. Welcome along. It is the Championship review for round 45. It is going to the last day for that last playoff place. It may go to the last day. We'll talk about that head-to-head in a little bit for automatic promotion. We know relegation is done, but still a dramatic round of Championship football. 2 to go it was going into this one. And we know a little bit more about what this final table is going to look like. Let me know if you can see me, hear me loudly and clearly. We're going to go for every game, every team, every goal. We're going to get your comments. Let's do some hellos in the chat. Welcome, Lucy, Mark, James, Ewan, Wombat, John, Bryn, Stephen, Liam, Rickster, Irene, Original, I love Sammy. Nice. RJB, Mark, Red Bull. And I think we've said hello to everybody there. Stuart. Thank you for the mega stream yesterday. Yes, I was sat in this chair for a very long time yesterday. Martin as well. Right, I'm stopping the hellos there. Apologies if you do indeed get missed out. The running order is ticking along. We're going to go from top down to bottom. Fulham have not played yet. They play tomorrow night against Luton Town. So we're going to start with this automatic race. And this was absolutely brilliant from both Bournemouth and Forest yesterday. So get your comments in on Blackburn 0, Bournemouth 3. Absolute tit for tat, and we'll get to it. But the long and the short is we go into the head-to-head with a 3-point gap and Forest 1 ahead on the goal difference. It might not matter, but we might look back at this round if this thing needs goal difference. Forest have just got themselves in front. By the way, the two teams are equal on goals scored, and Forest have just conceded 1 fewer. But I hear all you Bournemouth fans say 3 points ahead, and points come before goal difference, don't they? And it was a really vital 3 points for Bournemouth up at Blackburn, and that is Blackburn done for the season now. You can comment on them as well. I suspect most of the comments coming in will be concerning. Bournemouth, brilliant. Dom Solanke, it's quite old school. This long ball forward flick on by Billing. And going into this head-to-head, Bournemouth fans, we really pleased. Billing and Solanke look at it. Any other season without Mitrovic in the picture, we'd be all over Solanke, bigging him up. 29 goals for the season. That is equal Teemu Pukki's tally. I think Kevin Phillips and Pierre Van Hooijdonk back in the day. It's only Mitrovic, Tony Murray, who have gone above that in recent seasons. And he could get the magic 30 in the last 2 games. Brilliant season for Dom Solanke. There is Phil Billing returning the favour there. Solanke assisting for Billing. And Billing gets the third 3-0. Again, the points are more important than the goal difference at the moment. So excellent performance under a lot of pressure for Bournemouth. And shall we check in with the table for the first time in this stream? I've already explained it. It's quite simple now. 3 points gap going into it. What that means for Bournemouth, though, is it means they can draw the game. So maybe the pressure just a little bit more on Forest ahead of Tuesday. They won't be scared, Forest. They've been beating everybody for the longest time anyway. But it really is set up now that Forest need to win this game. That is my opinion. It could swing on the last day. I don't really see that happening. We were saying in the Super Stream, the Forest overtake, I think, needs to come on Tuesday night if it's going to happen. But Bournemouth are set and ready to go. It's going to be great, isn't it? Let's have a look at some comments. Tell me which English striker is in better form than Dom Solanke. We'll put that one to the chat. He's in fantastic form, isn't he? Brilliant season. Were Blackburn actually 3 goals worse than Blackburn? I don't know if Blackburn can be 3 goals worse than Blackburn. Well played, Bournemouth, but that big game is still to come. Absolutely. Great win for Bournemouth. They really needed it. And yes, the end for Mowbray at Ewood Park. What else have we got in the chat here? Forest don't play to draw. We're getting a lot of the fighting talk from the fans. If Forest don't play to draw, then they have drawn 10 games this season, but we'll see. And they need to go there and win anyway, don't they? I think Surrey just best. It's really fighting talk, isn't it now? Lots of club interest, doesn't it? The pressure, again, we're getting lots of club fighting talk. That's just not true, is it, Paul? The pressure only comes if we win. Pressure's not on Bournemouth. Bournemouth don't need to win this game. The pressure is massively on both teams. I'm hearing lots of fans giving me, there's no pressure on us. We'll go to win. Come on. You're not fooling anybody. Massive pressure on both teams. But let's be quite plain about this. Bournemouth don't need to win the head-to-head. I would suggest from my seat in the middle here, I'm a neutral on this. There's slightly more pressure on Forest and they're playing away from home. So I'm afraid I don't buy that, Paul, in the chat there. And we'll see what happens on Tuesday. Let's dive in and let's talk about Forest because they had a fantastic win themselves. 5-1. And as I said, if goal difference becomes an important thing, we may look back at this round where Forest just edged one goal difference away. It was 5-1 to Forest against Swansea. Let's bang these goals up because there is a lot of them. Fun and games with this one. Cyrus Christie kind of knocking it over the line, needed the goal review system. We thought there was a penalty, then we thought there was a red card, then there was a goal, and then it was changed to a yellow card, and the penalty was rescinded anyway. 1-0 Forest. They let Obafemi in here. I know Forest fans don't think they've done anything wrong for about the last 6 months, but Jack Colback, left wing back. Look at the line. Not quite in tune with his centre halves there, and Obafemi goes in to score. Surridge heads this one back across goal to put them, where are we there? 2-1 up now. I think I've got my goals right. This is a great goal by Surridge. He's quite close in, but he really bends that beautifully into the far corner. And he gets the hat-trick here. Fisher gets a bit lost after having a good first half, it has to be said. The cross hits the bar. Surridge finishes it off for the hat-trick, which is great news because I thought Forest were going to badly miss Keenan Davis. Surridge is stepping up. And so did Alex Mighton from the bench. It's not great from a Swansea point of view, just a long ball over the top. Mighton sneaks in there and gets goal number 5. So look, Forest, the most important thing is the 3 points. We know that, and they had to win. If they hadn't have won, we would have been going into this game. I mean, the gap's 3 points. If they'd have drawn, it would have been 5. And it would have been heavily against Forest at that point. But it's a 3-point gap. And we've looked at the table a hell of a lot, haven't we? 1 goal difference advantage. So what this means is if Forest win on Tuesday night, they will go above Bournemouth. They have the goal difference advantage and will go into the last game tied on points with Nottingham Forest will then be favourites. They'll be second. They'll have a goal difference advantage, and then it will just be a shootout on the last day. You'd imagine both teams will win, and it's Millwall and Hull. I think I'd rather play Hull, but Bournemouth are playing at home, and Bournemouth, as we said in the chat, have got a very, very in-form striker. Forest doing the business again. What else? What else have we got here? Poor defending yet again for the Swans. Big goal difference, point advantage for Forest over Bournemouth. Could end up being if they win, that goal difference then comes right into the conversation, doesn't it? That will just make Forest favourites in my opinion. Swans have leaked a lot of goals recently. What else have we got saying in here? Could have been 8-1 yesterday. Swansea keeper pulled off. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think it is what it is in the end. Swansea keeper did make a mistake and the defending was not great for the 5th goal. So I think it's swings and roundabouts. Great strike by Surridge, though, for that 2nd goal. That will be in the goal of the round competition. Takes Solanke out of and they'll struggle. Forest can score from all over the park. Well, take any team's best player out of their team and they won't be as good. I think we're in stating the bleeding obvious territory there, Chris. But we'll see. He looks fit and ready to go. If Forest were to win by a goal, then the swing is 2, so it would be 3. Yeah, you'd make Forest hot favourites, like you say there, Stuart. It would need to then be a big swing in. Basically, Bournemouth would have to thump Millwall, assuming that Forest would win on the final day against Hull. Never assume. I'll do a proper preview and we'll put this up. It's going to be absolutely fascinating tomorrow night. And very quickly, We know a Bournemouth win and they're up. It's all done. A draw and it's very heavily in Bournemouth's favour on the last day. You then need Bournemouth to lose to Millwall and Forest to beat Hull. Big swing that would be. If Forest win, I make Forest pretty strong favourites on the last day of the season. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We love it. Keep your comments coming in. And we're going to talk about Huddersfield. Poor old Huddersfield get forgotten in all of this, don't they? They're really, really close. But ultimately, the goal difference now means that Huddersfield basically can't finish second. There is a scenario where everybody's got 82 points by the end, but Huddersfield are, 18 and 19 goals behind in the goal difference. So Huddersfield are pretty certain now, barring some kind of miracle on the last day of the season involving sort of 17 goal defeats probably for both Forest and Bournemouth. They're going to be in the playoffs and they're probably going to be fourth as well, aren't they? It looks like Huddersfield are going to be playing at home second and they're going to be in fourth spot. But they did that with yet another victory. Do you know what? I thought Huddersfield would go heavy. I actually predicted Coventry would win this one. I thought they'd go heavily resting players here. They took a couple out. We've seen Jordan Rhodes start. I doubt he'd start in the playoffs. He'd come off the bench. Scott High in as well. That's about it in terms of. So they did go strong and they win this game 2-1. Just a brilliant season for Huddersfield. Where are the goals? I ask myself. They are here. What a goal. You're having a good season when your left back comes in from 25 yards and bends it with his right foot into the far corner. Brilliant from Toffolo. I think someone told me he got 4 goals in April from left back. He's had a brilliant time. Toffolo just sums Huddersfield up, doesn't it? O'Brien, down he goes for the spot kick. And I think this must be a first goal. I don't remember saying Faustino Angerin much. And he scores really good penalty, actually, right in the corner. Victor Gyökeres, Coventry love a late goal at the CBS. They got another one. It didn't mean particularly much. Consolation. And Huddersfield get the win. Get any comments on this, Coventry and Huddersfield? 79, they're locked up there. So, look, if Forest were to only score, 1 point or fewer in the last 2 games and Huddersfield get a win, Huddersfield could finish in third. They are not going to catch Bournemouth, we've said, because of the goal difference. So it'd be interesting to see what sort of team Huddersfield stick out on the last day of the season, whether anybody gets rested. Tino Angerin played great when he came on. I hope he starts to find it. I think he might do, George. I think that's a fair, good shout. Huddersfield go up via playoffs if Forest finish second. We'll talk about that when we know the confirmed teams. What else have we got? John seems to have a way of winning games. You're telling me. Cov had plenty of chances, failed to take them. Harry Toffolo, goal of the week. He's in the conversation. Put it that way. He is in the conversation, Toffolo. Others way behind in the stats, but keep finding a way. Yeah. I know which way I'd rather be way ahead in the results and behind on the stats than the other way around. But yeah, maybe it will catch up. Who knows? Huddersfield had a cracker of the season. Are they Premier League ready? Probably not, James, but they will not care. We all know what just a year of that TV money and the parachute payments can do in terms of upcycling everything at the club. Right, so Luton are still in 5th. So Sheffield United we're going to talk about now. QPR 1, Sheffield United 3. Get your comments in on this one. Huge performance. Sheffield United really needed this, and they were a goal down at half-time. We said going into the week in the predictions, Sheffield United could really slap the hammer down on everybody, and that's what they did. They left Middlesbrough, Millwall and Blackburn all needing to win on Saturday. We know that 2 of those teams won, but we also knew that in terms of Millwall specifically, the goal difference meant that a Sheffield United win could almost push Millwall out of the race. We'll talk about Millwall in a sec because they had a nice hefty win themselves, so they're not out of it yet. But Sheffield United went a long way to putting them on the verge of being out of it. Remind me to do a like spike after this one. Charlie Austin, great header that. Climbing, hangs in the air, right, cushions it back into the corner. He's been doing this a long time, hasn't he? It's a great goal by Austin. And lots of crosses into the box causing bother now. And Blades really went for the throat. I think they had 20-plus shots in the second half here. Ilman and Day with the equaliser. Brilliant assist. Go out of your way to see this by Basham, who you can see on the right-hand side of your picture there. Absolute leaps like a salmon to head that one back in across. Superb from Basham, and it's nodded in by the oft maligned sometimes by the Blades fans, Jack Robinson. He sticks it in for 2-1. And here is Conor Hurahan. Lovely cushion. Look, he's just got ahead of his markers there on the back post in stoppage time to stick that one in for 3-1. What did that do to the table? As I suggested, it put a lot of pressure on Middlesbrough, Millwall and Blackburn going into the weekend. We already know that Blackburn lost, so Blackburn are out of it. Millwall and Middlesbrough are still in it. It does actually put some pressure on Luton as well, because were Luton to lose tomorrow night against Fulham, they're level on goal difference with Sheffield United. Sheffield United will actually swap positions with Luton without kicking a ball tomorrow night. We know the scenario that suits both sides tomorrow is a draw. So we'll look out for that. Fulham will be champions. I mean, they're going to be champions anyway, aren't they? Said that for about 3 months now. But Bournemouth can still get past them on points without needing goal difference. But a draw looks like a nice result for both teams. We'll shake hands on a 2-2. Let Mitrovic score twice and break the record. Luton guaranteed playoffs. I don't know. Conspiracy theories ahoy. Let's go to the comments. Blades, where am I? James, Blades went in all guns blazing in the second half. Tipped them or Forest to win the playoffs. QPR could finish bottom half. Amazing collapse. A hell of a collapse. Hasn't it? Where are we going to land here? Blades are looking sharp. Okay, first half. Rubbish. Second half. Austin's last time. Yeah, it'd be interesting where he pipes up, won't it, Dave? He's certainly going to be taking a pay cut, isn't he? Put it that way. Bits, you absolute legend. Bloom the Ipswich legend. Hope you will be okay this close season. Get your beautiful Shelley a bottle of wine. Take it. She'll have a sparkly bottle of wine. Thank you, Bits. That's very, very kind. Sorry to interrupt. Bits, legend, you are welcome any time. I'll just throw that one in there from Kate on Ingram, who's gone into Luton as an emergency loan from... is he owned by Hull? I thought he was on loan at Hull anyway. I pass. I need to read up on that one. Right, let's try and do a like spike. How are we doing for likes? 44 likes. So I'm certain we're going to go over 50 here. If you're watching the stream now, and I can see loads of you are, please hit the like button right now. The like spike is a bit of fun, but there is serious business going on here. It really helps us in all the YouTube rankings and all of that nonsense. Helps more people reach the channel, blah, blah, blah. And thank you for your support. It's just gone over to 62. Woof. A huge like spike. That is what we are here for. And we're also here to say thank you to our good friend Russ, who has just got a new job. Congratulations to him. Was a forward, now a friend, currently owns the Premier League. He's our fan sponsor for the Championship Review Show, involved over at Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. We are currently planning for how to up the ante on the Patreon next year, give you more bang for your buck. Go and get subscribed over there. Support the channel. It'll always be free here, but you can support financially in that way or by putting a super chat like you've just seen Bits has done there. Again, no obligation to do that. It'll always be free here on the channel on YouTube. But if you do want to support my work, think of it as a tip for the piano player at the bar, then you can do so. Right. Middlesbrough had to win, and they did. And they helped out their goal difference as well. We're going to be saying the same for Millwall as well in just a minute. It was Middlesbrough 3, Stoke 1. Get your comments in on this one. So, and we'll do the table in a minute. The gap is 2 points between Borough and Sheffield United and Borough and Luton. If Luton win tomorrow night, it's done. They're in the playoffs. If Luton draw tomorrow night, Borough could still... tie them up on the last day. It'd be a 3-point swing. It'd be difficult, and they would need a 2-goal swing. The interesting one is Sheffield United on the last day, who play Fulham, who we have no idea what they're going to be up to. So if Sheffield United were to draw on the last day to Fulham and Middlesbrough were to beat Preston by 2 goals, God, look how close that is. In fact, I think there's a scenario where it can land completely equally there. It's 59-45 on the goals, 58-46. Someone better at maths will do that to me. The long and the short of it is Borough had to win. They helped their goal difference. They did. they can still get into the playoffs on the last day of the season if Sheffield United slip or Luton slip twice. Anyway, they did their business, and they had Matt Crooks back, and we mentioned him after his 15 yellow card suspension. I'm not even joking. We've criticised the Borough strikers this season, rightly so, reasonably so. I think we don't want to pile in on players. But Borough's attacking threat and goals seem to come from Crooks and Tavernier and Riley McGreen in midfield. Isaiah Jones. It's not come from the strikers. Crooks back, going to score 2 goals. First one takes a deflection. OG there for Stoke. Who did that go in off? Lewis Baker, who's been quite good for them, actually. Own goal, and Crooks forcing that one over the line for number 3. Now, a really, really muggy last minute, 94th minute goal by Nick Powell. Again, poor goalkeeping from a Middlesbrough point of view from Luke Daniels. You have to give Chris Wilder some credit because we criticised their strikers and their goalkeepers. So both ends of the pitch, they've had individual issues. Again, I'll say it. If there's one goal in it, one goal, what about that Stoke goal at the end? I wonder if that might come back to haunt Middlesbrough on the last day of the season with them 2 goals behind Borough. If that goal doesn't go in, there would have been 1 goal behind Middlesbrough. Anyway, I'll stop describing this and I'll put the table up on the screen. So I think I've gone through all the permutations, but the long and the short of it, Middlesbrough had to win. They did win. They can still get into the playoffs. They need a bit of a helping hand from somewhere, but 73 points might be enough. What do we got here? That goal cost Byron. It could do, Chris. Could absolutely do. Up the Reds. How's the little one? She's lovely, Sam. She's just off to bed in about 30 minutes. And I can actually talk to my missus. Dave, keepers and strikers have really cost us. Hard to say. Got a funny feeling Luton will fall apart. Interesting. Dave's view there. How many different things would have to be equal before a one-off playoff to decide league position? I don't know, Stuart. Probably lots. Probably points, goal difference, goals for, goals against, and then head-to-head as well. I don't know what the head-to-head is between Sheffield United and Middlesbrough. It looks like Luton have got enough extra goals that they're all right in terms of that ridiculous tie-up, but we will see. Borough will get the last playoff place. What else there? Borough need more goals for 6th or 5th. Right. Let's keep on going because we've got to talk about Millwall and we're going to say exactly the same things about Millwall that we just said about Middlesbrough, that Millwall had to win after Sheffield United won. And given that their last game is away at Bournemouth, we were saying on the stream yesterday, if Millwall are going to get goals, they're going to get them at home to Peterborough rather than away at Bournemouth. The absolute utopian scenario for Millwall is that Bournemouth win their head-to-head on Tuesday and they're already promoted by, it's Saturday, isn't it? It's not Sunday. By Saturday. So we'll see how that pans out. But Millwall do still have an outside chance of the playoffs. They can get in there, but they are 5 goals behind Luton and 5 goals behind Sheffield United. I know that seems far-fetched, but I'm sure plenty of you were watching on the channel when we sat there agog and saw Swansea, Steve Cooper's Swansea, funnily enough, take over Sabri Lamouchi's Nottingham Forest with a 6-goal swing in the last 30 minutes of the season. It was insane stuff. So I'll never rule out a 5-goal swing when I've seen a 6-goal swing happen so late in the day as it did a couple of years ago. Here are the goals. Benik Afobe, who's having his best season since coming onto the scene, really. Who was it? Wolves back in the day, wasn't it? Bit of a poor one, this from Josh Knight. I think Jed Wallace had quite a decent little sub cameo in the end of this game. He may have just played his last game at the Den as well. Who knows? Contract running out on the back stick there. A little bit blurry as George Saville. Wallace obviously doesn't get an assist for an own goal, but he certainly gets an assist for that last one. So, once again, here are the permutations on the last day. Millwall could finish on 72 points. Again, if Luton score a point tomorrow night, then Millwall cannot catch Luton. Middlesbrough still could, but we're talking about Millwall now. And in terms of Sheffield United, and it's the top 2, Millwall play Bournemouth, Sheffield United play Fulham. And I reiterate my point, every Millwall fan will be supporting Bournemouth on Tuesday night because they'll want that to be a dead rubber and the promotion celebrations have already happened for Bournemouth on Tuesday. Yes, lots of NIMBYism comes into it right now. Best home form in the Championship, 8th in the league. Not bad for a team of this. Well, absolutely. I mean, that's the big picture thing, Martin. But once you get close, you want to get in there, don't you? Millwall have been close a few times now. 8th place finishes twice as well. Big win by Millwall, scored a few goals too. Yes, indeed. And yeah, the form is very decent. They're probably, in my view, they're probably just going to fall short. It'd be an incredible swing on that final day, wouldn't it? You'd have to say they'd be chasing Sheffield United, wouldn't you? Because Luton have got Reading at home on the last day. So I'd rather have that fixture, put it that way, than Sheffield United's against Fulham. But remember, there's still Middlesbrough in the way. They basically need 3 teams to slip up on the last day, do Millwall. Right, where are we going next? We're going to go into dead rubber, Beachland now. So from Blackburn down, no one can make the playoffs any longer. We've already done Blackburn. Let's quickly do West Brom. I'll just say thank you for your like spike really quickly. We're on 92 likes. Hit that like button. I know I asked recently, but see if we can get up to 100 likes. It was a nice goal, actually, by Carlin Grant, his mate, Callum Robinson. How many goals have they set up for one another this season? I know it's probably not on Mitrovic and Harry Wilson level, but very good. And he lays down a couple of defenders there, Carlin Grant. He scored a fair few this season, but it's very much a season of underachievement in terms of West Bromwich Albion. They are going to finish, let's do the maths really quickly. So the highest they can finish is 9th. The lowest they can finish, I mean, look, there's a weird scenario there where all the way down to Swansea could overtake them. But I'm sure if we do the research, some of those teams are playing each other and they can't all win. But it looks like somewhere between, I don't know, 9th and 12th is where West Brom are going to be. Reading are already safe. They ruined the relegation party for everybody. Let's bang through these nice and quickly, these dead rubbers. Not many people in attendance to see Barnsley, who are going to finish bottom, especially after that derby win. Aidan Marsh gives them the lead. Dan Johnson, the first goal was good, a very deliberate finish. The second one was brilliant, very much like Surridge's, but probably a more difficult finish, I'd suggest, with a couple of defenders in the way. He just arcs that one. Obviously, Surridge did it with the right foot, Johnson with the left foot into the top corner. Emil Rees late on, round the keeper, in from the angle. Bish, bash, bosh. Jobs are good. And let's have a quick look at the table as it pertains to those two. And you will see Preston in 14th place. Look, there could be a big climb for someone on the last day of the season. You can see, look, Blackpool, start at Swansea, really. And, you know, there's only a 3-point gap between 15th and 10th. So we'll see. Someone might have a mad jump of 2 or 3 places on the last day of the season. Preston will hope it's not at their expense. Barnsley, Annus Horribilis, they're going to finish bottom after Derby's win as well. Terrible season for Barnsley, and they're going to regroup in terms of League One. Let me go to some comments because I just did 3 games really, really quickly. Didn't I? Mr. E, Reading not only on the beach, but sleeping in their deck chairs. And look at that second sentence from Mr. E. Farewell to Swift, Laurent, Rinamotor, Yidam, Holmes. I dread to think how much weaker that Reading squad is going to look at the start of next season. But, you know, a new broom sweeps clean. Tom, how's it being a father? It's better than anything. Of course it is, Tom. You know that by the sounds of it, don't you? Disappointing for West Brom, considering they were pegged for it. Yeah. I mean, they never quite got close enough to Fulham and Bournemouth with those big starts, didn't they? So, it's been poor for West Brom. But they know that. Their fans know that. As well. Where are we going next? We're going to a bit of a surprise, actually. It was Blackpool 0, Derby 2. Blackpool on the Pleasure Beach for this one. And a really nice away win for Derby to finish off 2-0 in this one. Penalty missed, actually, by Gary Medine. Looks like he did the exact same penalty he did against Luton the other week. And I think that's Keller Roos in goal. He doesn't often play for Derby, does he? He makes the save. Poor marking here. It's a nice delivery, but it's Cashin heads it in. And then, who's that? Ebiowi on the back post scrambles that one home for 2-0. So, look, a complete dead rubber with Derby already relegated. Blackpool, I've already said that the second they got over 60 points, that's very impressive for a first season up in the Championship. They'll hope to build, and Derby will hope to rebuild down in League One. I'll take comments on that one in a little bit. But we've got a lot of talking about Bristol City to do because out of nowhere, Bristol City have had a lovely run to finish the season. And I hate to say it, they're in the conversation for team of the round because they won 5-0 against Hull, who are actually decent away from home. A great win for Bristol City. Let's bang through these goals nice and swift, and then we can get to team of the round and goal of the round. Andy Weimann, look, what more can we say about Andy Weimann this season? He's been absolutely brilliant in a pretty poor Bristol City team. I thought he'd chip this one over the keeper, but he hadn't. Don't worry, he's going to do it later in the game. He kind of toe pokes it, actually, and it's through the keeper's hands. It's not great, but Weimann is certainly great. He's been brilliant for Bristol City this season. Antoine Semenyo has been brilliant sporadically. If he can become consistent, he is a proper player as well. And he sets up Chris Martin, the Bristol City front three with praise before. Just the erratic nature of their performance through the season. Chris Martin makes it 3. Horror show at the back for Hull, for Martin to make it 4. And this is brilliant. It's Glenn Hoddle-esque. I can't pay him a higher compliment. Weimann, from that close in, he uses the angle, but he dinks that over the keeper. Some great goals for our goal of the round competition this week. Let's have a look. Any comments on this one? Blackpool on the pier, says Jimmy. He's right. Bristol City, a very strange team. Ewan is definitely right there. Liam's always good on Bristol City. Home game, comfortable win, very clinical performance. Yes, they play with freedom, look solid at the back. Yeah, and that's the thing. When it's not stress-free, they've got to pick it up, haven't they? But there's the bones of something there at Bristol City. If they can, we've said that for a long time, haven't we? But first time City have won 2 in a row. Is it really? That is shocking, isn't it? And that's why they are down there, Bristol City, in 17th. But finishing the season well, they won't hit 60 points, but 58. I don't know who they've got on the last day of the season. Right, finally, we are going to land on Cardiff and Birmingham. It was 1-1, a dead rubber. That's the wrong picture. That is it Juninho Bacuna or Leandro Bacuna? The chat will get there before me. I just get these guys mixed up. They are brothers, aren't they? Anyway, it is it's neither of them. Juninho Bacuna sliding through Jeremy Bella. There we go. That'll learn me. So Bacuna with the assist, Bella with the great finish that as well, slides it right in the corner. Penalty late on Will Vaulks. Good players make good shapes. Now, I like Will Vaulks, but that is not a good shape, is it? Leathers the penalty in, so it doesn't really matter. But hey, looks like he's about to fall over after he's taken it. Anyway, let's just quickly check on Birmingham and Cardiff in terms of the league table, as I failed to identify the goal scorer for Birmingham. They're right tied together there on 19th and 20th. Cardiff not tied together. Cardiff are 3 points ahead. Could have been a little switcheroony on the cards, possibly. Look at the Birmingham goal difference, but yep, both sides will want to move on from this season. We're going to move on to the comments, and then don't get your comments in yet on team of the round and goal of the round, but we'll do it in just a second. So basically, state of play is all eyes on Tuesday night now. Everything on Tuesday night. We'll see what happens there. Again, Bournemouth win, they're up. Forest will be in the playoffs. A draw, and I make Bournemouth hot favourites on the last day. It would take a 3-point swing if it is a draw. But it's open because the goal difference is in Forest's hands there. If Forest win, I make them hot favourites on the last day because it will then just be a straight shootout. Who can win by the most goals on the last day? And of course, if Forest win on Tuesday, then they will be a minimum of 2 goals ahead. So, yes, basically, in the words of ABBA, the winner takes it all on Tuesday night. Bournemouth win, they're up. Forest win, they're pretty hot favourites. A draw suits Bournemouth way, way better than it suits Forest. And in the playoffs, we'll find out more. Luton can get the job done tomorrow night, but they've got to go to Fulham. And still, we could have Middlesbrough and possibly Millwall with a massive swing and lots of help from others getting into 6th place. Right. Just quickly, Commiserations to Norwich. They are going to be joining us in the Championship next season. They got relegated on Saturday. Watford are pretty much down. We're in miracle zone now with them needing to win all their games and everyone else lose all their games and blah, blah, blah. Also, big congratulations to Wigan, to Rotherham. They are going to be joining us next season as well, first and second in League One. And it will be MK versus Wickham and Sunderland versus Sheffield Wednesday. Do you like that in the playoff semi-finals? Right, let's dive into this. We are going to have a look at Team of the Round. Right, new rule on Team of the Round. I need you to put your Team of the Round in the comments. Put in brackets next to it the team you support. I'm trying to weed out bias here. So, for example, if my Team of the Round was Coventry, it wouldn't be. I put Coventry and then I put in brackets Ipswich. Okay, we want to try and get as credible a vote as we can. So get your shouts in for Team of the Round. Let me know who you support as well. We'll try this. We tried it before on Goal of the Round. So you could go for Bournemouth. Really impressive win from them. Forest, again, has been Forest quite a lot recently, I will say, though, in the interest of variety. Huddersfield, they keep winning. Could be them. Sheffield United, vital win for them. Middlesbrough, vital win for them. Millwall, trying to keep pace. Who else won? West Brom won. I throw a shout in for Derby, but I throw a bigger shout in for Bristol City, who won 5-0. That was the biggest winning outcome this round. Let me know your Team of the Round and feel free to put the team you support in brackets next to the Team of the Round and we'll see if we can get a consensus. See if we can weed out the bias as well from you naughty people. Right, what do we got? Bristol City, Forest. Well, there you go. That's good for Forest. No bias going in there because it's been voted for by Norwich and Huddersfield fans. Blades, Forest. Bristol City, Blades, Forest, Bournemouth. I'm going to click through. I think it's going to be Forest. Let me click down. I'm going for Bristol City, by the way, because I've voted for Forest about 5 times in the last 8 weeks, haven't I? Click on as many as we can. There we go. Go on, Jimmy. Another Ipswich fan in there. Where are we landing? Cool. Right, all done. Right. Finally, for the stream today, it is Goal of the Round time. Again, please allow us to have a credible vote here. This is Goal of the Round, not what was my favourite goal scored by the team I supported this round. So please, if you've seen all the goals, have a vote and vote for the best one. We know you love your team. You don't need to tell us all about how amazing their goal was when it wasn't actually that good. So my short list, I've got Surridge, his second goal for Forest with the right foot. Toffolo, with the right foot from outside the box from the left back. Brilliant goal. Carlin Grant, I liked for West Brom, dribbling in, lays a couple down, sticks it in. Johnson's second goal for Preston. It was like Surridge's, probably more difficult, wasn't it, with the marking players. Bends that in the top corner. And a filthy chip by Andy Weimann. If I'm comparing it to Glenn Hoddle, then it can't be bad. Those are my 5. Get your other shouts in if you want. Again, please don't automatically vote for a player who plays for the club you support. It's very obvious when people do that, and it doesn't give us a very good read of what actually the goal of the round is. So I'll give you my shortlist again. Get your votes in. Surridge, Toffolo, Grant, Johnson, and Weimann. Let's see if we get a consensus in the chat here. Where are we going to start here? Robinson, Surridge, Toffolo, Robinson, Toffolo, Surridge, Toffolo, Weimann, Toffolo, right, it's Toffolo, isn't it? The Toff. But some really good ones. To be honest, I would have been perfectly happy with most of them winning. I think my favourite was Weimann, but Toffolo, being it's a left back with his right foot as well, is absolutely tremendous. So there we go. Fantastic stuff. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. Thank you for the super chats, bits. Thank you so much for that. Before you go, hit that like button. We're on 114 likes. See if you can take us up towards 150. That would be tremendous. And I will return with a preview at some point tomorrow for this massive head-to-head between Bournemouth and Forest on Tuesday night. Thank you ever so much for watching. It's a lovely big over and out from me.